Good morning. Welcome to Breakfast with Rachel Burden and Martin Geisler.
Our headlines today. Thousands of drinkers have flocked to pubs across England for the first time in 3 months after lockdown restrictions were eased.
We've really stuck to the social distancing guidelines. We've used hand sanitizer. It's been quite safe.
If you're living on your own and you've been without seeing people and you're going to a pub, it's important.
But it was a mixed picture when it came to social distancing, with scenes of tightly packed crowds in parts of London.
Clapping for our carers one more time. The nation honours the NHS on its 72nd birthday.
To all who have given so much during this present danger, I just want to say that it is you who have been our shield.
Good morning in sport. It's race day. Formula One is back. Mercedes block out the front row of the grid as the season restarts in Austria.
Good morning to you. It's been a very windy night. It's going to be an unseasonably windy day for the time of year. But on the plus side, we should see more sunshine around today than what we had yesterday. But there will be a few heavy showers around too. So join me later for all the details.
It is Sunday, the 5th of July. A very good morning to you. Our top story this morning. Thousands of people across England have enjoyed their first night out in pubs for more than 3 months after a major easing of lockdown.
Restaurants, hairdressers, theme parks and libraries also opened their doors with strict social distancing measures in place. But police have voiced concerns the rules weren't always being observed. John McManus reports.
It was the day life began to look familiar again in England. Pubs and restaurants had already reopened in Northern Ireland on Friday. Yesterday, it was England's turn, but nothing was going to be quite the same again. The government's desperate for people to get spending, but it also wants them to stay safe. And as day turned into night, it became apparent just how difficult that will be.
Well, it's gone midnight here in Soho, and though much of central London is quieter than usual, the crowds are still out in force here. As you can see, many of the bars and cafes are still open, which is great news for the entertainment industry, but there's not much evidence of social distancing going on.
Police officers were out in force across England. One, John Apter, the National Chair of the Police Federation in England and Wales, took to Twitter at the end of his shift in Southampton, saying, "What was crystal clear is that drunk people won't socially distance. It was a busy night, but the shift managed to cope. I know other areas have had issues with officers being assaulted." Earlier in the day, there was relief of a non-alcoholic kind. Instead of wrestling with clippers and scissors ourselves, the experts are now back in charge of our locks from behind a visor. For those wanting something a bit more hair-raising, theme parks have also opened their gates, but with more than the usual precautions.
Good place to come along, 30% capacity, loads of space, lines, toilets are all clean, so it's fine, it's all good.
And it's now possible to head back to the big screen, but not to theatres, where industry bodies have warned of massive closures unless they receive state help.
Would you like to come and cut the ribbon?
Meanwhile, in Elvington, 8-year-old Oliver Vaines did the honours at the Yorkshire Air Museum.
Well done.
8 out of 10 of the most popular UK attractions are museums, but they survive on a mixture of public money and ticket sales.
What do you think? If it was still working?
This one reflects on past battles with opponents that were visible. The challenge now is to win the war against an unseen enemy. John McManus, BBC News.
The Chancellor Rishi Sunak is expected to announce a doubling of the number of frontline job centre staff when he delivers his economic plan on Wednesday.
Now, this comes after the Prime Minister said the pandemic would, in his words, cause many, many job losses, and that